What's up, guys? So Predecessor gave us a big announcement talking about the new UI, at least the menu UI that we're seeing that they're working on. I'm going to show you these pictures. We're going to break it down here together, but I also want to go ahead and go into what they said. Let's check it out. All right, so I want to start off the video by saying, think of it this way, guys. The first quarter of the year is officially over. Now we're moving on to quarter two. That is, rising expectations as far as a lot of these games, but we're focusing on Predecessor specifically right now. Let's read together here what they wrote. They said, during our last closed alpha weekend event, we mentioned a lot of visual content being placeholders. Today, we're excited to announce bringing Predecessor to life in its own unique feel and overhauling of what you remembered with our user interface. With community feedback, we're able to add several changes to our user interface design. For example, you can now view all ability information you need for your favorite character under the Abilities tab. Gone are the days of wondering what an ability does, how much damage you're dealing. You can learn it all before diving into your first game. For now, our focus is on the defender of the wasteland himself and the overall feeling of the user interface. Now, it's actually interesting. They're calling Steel the defender of the wasteland. That's a pretty dope name. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty fire name. But let's actually look a little bit closer here as far as the UI goes. Now, I do have it here on the side, blown up picture. Looking at it in itself, let's go from left to right. We're gonna be able to see a start button. Now, first and foremost, we do see a PlayStation controller inputs. Now, that could mean several things. I've seen a lot of people speculating. They did mention cross-platform before. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm just going to assume that they are improving their controller compatibility as before. I'm not 100% sure if before, during the last alpha, you could even use a controller. So being able to see that even the UI automatically changes when you plug in a controller, just nice to see right there, right? You're going to be able to see start, and under home you see start on the top left. Not 100% sure what that means, but I'm assuming the start is to just queue up for a match, right? Moving to the right, we see a home tab. I like that the home tab is literally just like a hero highlight. You get me? Nice little phrase. You see the character, a cool little icon for the character and the name. And then I do see smoke in the background. I know for a fact Predecessor loves smoke animations, whether it be in the hero selection screen, whether it be in the UI. So I would not be surprised if this UI was actually animated. It could be a still image. If it's a still image, it's still pretty good. But I would not be surprised if this were just like a still image of Steel and then smoke animations everywhere. That'd be kind of cool. We never know. Moving down the list, we see they added a store tab. I'm assuming that's going to be for skins, content, etc. A collection tab where you can see everything that you currently have. A watch tab. This part is interesting. So that implies maybe some sort of replay system, or maybe you'll just be able to watch maybe like live spectating of current matches. Maybe your buddies are going to show up there and you'll be able to watch the match. Who knows? There is a community tab. That's going to be interesting as far as what they include on there. Are they going to include content creators? Are they just going to stick to like an art section, kind of like Predecessor, kind of like actually kind of like Fault did a little bit, and kind of like Paragon did in the past. Can't even talk. Moving forward here, you do see level progression within your main account. You see your name, a currency of the sorts, 123. That actually kind of looks like an acorn, funny enough. You see a settings tab and then a friends tab, but I do find it interesting that on the bottom left, we're actually seeing here, it says 0 for back, square to open friends list, triangle to start a chat. You're going to be able to chat in menu. That's fucking huge. Too many games don't have that. You're going to be able to open up your friends list right from there. And you do have your party members listed on the bottom right. I like that this is just small in a corner We'll probably be able to have, you know, custom avatars to show off eventually down the road. That's kind of cool. I do like how simplistic this specific screen is, the home screen. It's more like you get brought into the game to be mesmerized, and if you want more information, you click over. So I do appreciate that there. Now, let's go ahead and go back to what they were reading here. The next paragraph, it says, let's take a closer look. We zeroed in on what Predecessor should feel like. While what you see is subject to change, it's in the direction we're taking to create an original feel. They also mentioned they updated their settings menu to provide clear information at a glance, allowing you to customize your gaming experience. On the visual settings screen, for example, maybe you prefer epic with a side and medium foliage, etc. Just a small taste of what you can expect to see when you jump back into the world of Predecessor. Now, this one is an interesting one. Now, I see the tabs game, visual, audio, key bindings, and bug reporting. Now, that's actually quite a bit, and if you guys were not aware, the last alpha that we played in Predecessor, we couldn't even change our settings. It was just whatever settings they gave us as far as optimized settings, right? So I do like the fact, for example, they're supporting resolutions from 720p all the way to 2160. So 4K, here I come, right? Screen modes, windowed, borderless, and full screen. I like that. Frame rate, interesting. Max is 144. There are a lot of PCs out there that are actually quite beefy that might be able to do 144 depending on the optimization. I do find it interesting that that's where they decided to cap it at. I like the fact that there's resolution scaling now. I don't know what that goes to based off of the length of the bar. You might be able to go up to like, 125 maybe, depending. It might actually be less, but for example, I do like to play the game at 1080p resolution so my stream picks it up, but then upscale the resolution. So that way I can view the upscaled 4K while still outputting a 1080p signal. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to upscale all the way to 4K with that little bar that we got right there. We do see view distance, anti-aliasing, shadows. You're able to see an FPS counter, show FPS without having to type anything weird or anything like that. So that's very cool. Textures, effects, post-processing, foliage, a lot of detail. My favorite part is the brightness, contrast, and saturation, because people do have individual monitors. People do have individual preferences. A lot of people were actually asking me before, it's like, hey, yo, why does Windu stream? Why do his videos look like so like saturated? Like that green looks like really green, it's just, that's the way I prefer it. I go through my computer settings to adjust those, but being able to adjust those in game is very nice, specifically for those individuals that might not be able or might not know how to change those settings within the PC itself. And then there's a typical preset of all low, all medium, all high, and all epic. I do like the fact that there is an epic settings on there. Then you can reset to default, save the settings. Super, super cool. I'm actually really, really liking the aesthetics of this also. The fact that in the menu, you can still see the background, whatever it was back there. This is just a quick little pop-up that goes there. Now, speaking of pop-ups, I want to go ahead and talk about this one here. What they mentioned next. Although we've updated our home screen, our aim is still to get you on the battlefield as quickly as possible. Our new match found screen is designed to grab your attention and ensure you ready up as soon as possible. And then they show us this picture, which I really, really like. Now, I'm very curious if this effect is gonna take place no matter where you are, because it does look like the top bar stays, the bottom bar stays. And then depending whether you're on the store, collection, watch, or community, the middle content is gonna change. But regardless, if you're queued for a match and a match is found, it looks like this overlay pops up in the middle. The background now has a blur on it. I like that. The differentiation is like, hey, I know you were looking at the store, but pay attention. Match found. And then a simple ready, cancel. I did notice that there's a timer that's gonna go all the way around. That's nice, that's not too bad. I don't care for timers, but I really, really like the fact that it's gonna go all the way around the diamond here. And then on top of that, just another diamond, some swords, cool logo, you know, nothing really to complain about there. But I really do like the fact that it's going to be a pop-up and the background is going to blur to focus all your attention on the center of the screen. It's like, hey, let's get it going. I really, really, really do like that. Now, going back to here, towards the end, they mentioned we're actively testing internally and gathering feedback. So everything you see here is already in-game. However, we're keen to hear your thoughts on what you'd like to see, how we can improve your experience. Tweet at us for your thoughts on the new interface and let us know what you'd like to see in future blog posts. I mean, honestly, this is a short update, but I like the aesthetics because, like I was mentioning, specifically, I would love to see animated. The picture doesn't have to be animated. Honestly, if you show me a dope ass still image of whether it be Steel, Bellica, I'm not gonna complain, but a still image with the counterpart of the animated smoke behind and in front, that would actually look super, super, super dope. If it's a still image of the smoke, you know, whatever, still looks cool. But if for some reason that can be animated also, just to have something live and moving on the screen that isn't just a character, that would be really, really cool. That would be the only thing I would want to see out of this. It actually looks really clean. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys do think of this new menu interface. Did you guys like it? Did you expect more out of it? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. I'm actually gonna try to leave a heart on every single comment, regardless if it's negative or positive. Just a personal goal that I'm gonna try here. But till the next video.